This story comes from our Discord. Shout out to Echo. So there's this forest preserve close to my job, right? I go for a walk every day after work. Well, at this time, I was still friends with a coworker of mine. I had gotten off work early, so I did my errand and came back to do my walk. I'd like to think I'm a spiritual person. I try to make a relationship with nature and the spirits in my reside in said forest. Every time I go, I talk out loud as if I am speaking to the entire forest itself. And before I leave, I always leave an offering as a thank you. By this time, I've had all sorts of animals come up to me and let me pet them. The path I take is straight, long, and narrow. As you come to the end, there's a bend and it loops you back around. In between these paths is a river. So I am walking, saying things like, hello, I am back, hope you've been well, stuff like that. As I get close to the bend, I start hearing an owl's hoot. I find this very weird as I've never heard an owl before, and it's around 15 before 6 p.m. There's still a lot of light out, and well, frankly, I've always thought that owls sleep in the daytime, you know? So as I hit the bend and I am walking around, this huge owl just lands in front of me, blocking the path. I freeze up. We're just staring at each other for a solid maybe minute or two. When I notice that it's not moving, I kind of kneel down and start speaking to it, saying, hello. I didn't expect you to show up. As I am talking to it, it began to move towards me. So close that I could reach out and touch it. So I do. It lets me pet it a few times before I hear a rustling from behind. When I turn around, there's nothing there, probably just a chipmunk on the brush or something. And then I hear flapping. I turn around and the owl had flown away. I finish my walk and I get into my car. I call my coworker, asking if we wanted to smoke after his walk. He says yes and tells me to head to his house, and he'll be there soon. By the time that he arrives, it's already dark. His home has his car garage, and it has a motion sensor floodlight, and it's on the left side and sticks out. On the right side, it's on the front door, but it's further in. So the way we are parked, we can't see the front door. As he hops in the car, he's frantic. He tells me that he is very scared because as he was doing his walk, he kept hearing an owl's hoot. And when he hit the bend, he noticed an owl on a tree just staring down at him. He said he'd gotten overwhelming fear and got this urge telling him to run to get out of there. He's very panicked, asking me if that happened to me. The reason he's scared is because we are both Mexican, and in Mexico, there's a thing called La Lechuza, which is said to be a witch woman that can morph into an owl. And growing up, his mom would tell him stories of said creatures and how she used to see them a lot in her town. So he's frantically asking me if I saw it. I try to calm him down, telling him that he's tripping out, that I walked through and it stopped in front of me, and I even got to pet it. I told him that it's all good and he was probably already scared or something. After a brief talk, he calms down and starts to break up the weed to roll a joint. As he's doing this, he starts talking about the owl again. Well, I just stare out the window at the night sky. As this is happening, we start to hear an owl hoot in the distance. We both look at each other and he begins to panic, saying that that's not good. And he told me it's a lechuza, and it followed him home. As he's panicked and speaking, I see a huge either crow or raven, I am not sure. It just flew in and landed on his roof. Then I started to feel odd. Something begins to feel off. The atmosphere begins to change. It feels heavy all of a sudden. Then my hearing dulls. My coworkers talking sounds faded and distant. I can't hear any nature sounds. It feels weird. I've always associated ravens and crows with spirits. As all this is happening, all of a sudden, boom, the floodlights go off and light up the parking lot, and in a fraction of a second, I turn to look at the garage, and I see a shadow person. It's crazy because it looked darker than a shadow, darker than the dark almost. This is the first time I've ever seen one straight ahead like that. Well, in that split second that I turn, it runs. I'm talking about this thing looked like the Flash with how fast it moved. It runs to the front of the house, and I turn around to say, "Did you see that?" But he doesn't hear me. I say it 2 more times before I tell him to shut up and tell him what I saw. He brushes me off and keeps talking about the owl. The rest of the night nothing happens, but I can't stop staring or thinking of what had happened. I find this odd because I honestly don't know how the light didn't get his attention, how he didn't see everything that was happening. Maybe it was only meant for me to hear or something. I don't know. It was all just odd. Very, very odd.